starting shortly.
Yep, we're about ready to begin this race. This is the first of 3 Link to the Past randomizers you're going to be seeing on the Speed Gaming channels tonight, or today. This first one being a standard randomized sword open race. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we've got a Key Sanity tournament race, and we're underway.
Yeah, and then at 10 p.m. our other daily, and just a piece of heart right out the bat.
Yep, so the 10 o'clock race is going to be our normal daily challenge. So whatever the mode is at the daily challenge when it becomes available at 8 o'clock tonight Eastern time, that's the mode that the 10 o'clock race is going to be.
And as we saw yesterday, it could be something crazy like overworld glitches. It could be expert mode. It could be insane mode. Can't be entrance, but it can be pretty much anything else.
We could see Triforce hunts too. I mean, it depends on what the roll of the dice comes up for the open challenge. And the Cane of Samaria is the uncle item.
So that one doesn't unlock too much progression by itself, but it's a pretty fun weapon to use. You can obviously hit them with just the block itself. You can hit them with the beams. So it's like a sword almost. It also does sword damage, so pretty close to that. It also doesn't use a lot of magic, so you can actually use it to farm, unlike some of these other starts where your resources are a bit limited. So obviously we still do sort of want one bomb if possible.
Well, the thing here with the Cane of Samaria is that you're going to have to learn how to use it and how its mechanics work out, how to aim the beams that they hit it, and also remember the fact that the guard can run into the Cane of Samaria block and it doesn't disappear immediately.
I think that they can take almost, it's like upwards of 5 or 6 hits before it explodes. So once you know that, you can basically push the block in, and then just before you can shoot a beam and hit a bunch of things in the room. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of the time they're gonna push it into the guard and then shoot the last shot to get rid of it.
So we get the shield in the chest here where the map normally is in Hyrule Castle, and very good execution by our runners. Dr. Bob Tastic having a little issue with the guard, but gets him tackled down. So all 4 of our runners moving on. 2 more rooms they have to tackle here before they get to the ball and chain guard.
The ball and chain guard is probably still faster. At least grab one of the blocks, or sorry, one of the pots. Usually in these randomized swords, you will probably use the pot to kill the guard, at least one. Burna, you use almost all of your magic when you have that. Samaria, I think you have to use 2 blocks to kill him, and then don't think he'll die to just 1 block. He'll basically outlast the block.
Taking a look at the magic, and the magic is going to be very critical here because if these runners run out of magic, they have to go progress back to where the uncle is, or that little tunnel area, to get some more.
Well, there are some magic in the sewers, but they are very out of the way. A bit closer than Uncroll, but still kind of out of the way.
Right, I'm talking before they kill this ball and chain guy.
Yes.
And here we go. And the item that is next to Zelda turns out to be 3 bombs. That is good because we're going to need those bombs coming up.
Yeah, that helps out. Some people will wait until the sewers to farm their bombs because they might get a bomb from this chest. If they do by that point, then they don't have to farm. There are a few rooms with lots of enemies that you can kill. I usually wait for the snake, and I know a lot of people will just farm the snakes because they only take 1 or 2 hit, 2 hits, or clumped up. So, but getting those bombs for free like that, best thing to happen.
All 4 of our runners able to get the big key off the ball and chain guard. So Dr. Bob Tastic having a little bit of a deficit here as far as these 4 featured runners are concerned. Gem, the first one up to the main floor of Hyrule Castle.
Gem is Steve's past those guards. So guard RNG is actually a funny little thing to watch sometimes in the escape sequence, which, I just realized a lot of people who are watching have probably never seen the escape sequence, or at least not forced, just because it's been a while since Standard's been played regularly.
Well, outside of the weekly races on Saturdays, you didn't really see much of this escape. So it's interesting to see how these players run it. One thing Gem's going to have to be careful is the health, but we are going to be able to get a heart coming up in this first room of the sewers.
Yep. The enemies down here don't hit for much except for the snakes in the next room. They are the light rolled versions of those green guys in Thieves Town. In fact, if those guys are ever technically considered in Dark World, which can happen in glitched modes and entrance, they actually hit as if they're those green guys with the chest in.
And
So
nice for Kakariko Village. We get ourselves our first bottle.
Yeah, it's always nice to have before or in Kakariko.
So Gem here with 1 heart remaining is going to be able to get through the sewers. I don't think there's going to be another heart until we get to the bomb wall in the final room here with the 3 chest jar, but it's not really going to matter at this point. We're going to get the key, we're going to head into the door, and we're going to get to those 3 chests. And remember, those bombs were very important because we don't have to worry about farming for bombs here. Dr. Bob-tastic down to a heart, going to have to be careful here.
Just that's down to a heart and a half, and having a hard time finding the rat. There it is. It didn't look like anything in those chests there.
Nope, but we do know the sanctuary is going to be something. May not be progression, maybe just a rupee or arrows or something like that, but we know it's going to be something because we just found the map.
Exactly. So people are keeping track in their head when they're playing this. They can actually find the map. They can notice that they haven't picked up the map and then just skip this chest here. But obviously, if you pick it up, you go and grab it. And it's just more bombs. That's awesome.
Yep, Gem just the first one through the escape sequence at 6:10. Still a very solid time, all things considering, as Dr. Bob-tastic. Oh, that was a little too close for comfort to that bomb. We get our first map check. Did I just see a pendant up on Hera and a red crystal over on Eastern?
I think so. I didn't catch Desert.
I wasn't paying attention to Desert. You crazy?
Gem never is one of those people who do not like to check the Lumberjack Cave. It is a large time waste, and unless you have boots, level 2 sword, or cape, you
Crystal for Desert, by the way.
There we go. Longer map check for us. Saberwolf helping our trackers out.
So Gem, as you mentioned, isn't going to check the Lumberjack. He's probably not going to until either he goes up to Death Mountain or he gets the boots, which would give him everything, well, almost everything. Actually, not everything at this point. We still are a couple of items more away from Aghanim, if that's going to be the case. But we are going to get the Lumberjack check here from Jaxus, and it is look like a piece of heart.
Yeah, and it's usually not progression, so it's not an awful play to just bypass it until you have no other option.
You mean this isn't like Zelda 1 where you need random amount of hearts to pick up a sword or a wand or silver arrows? Darn it! So Gem heading here through the thieves' hideout, and we're going to go ahead and see what's inside of these 4 chests. There's our first of the bomb upgrades. We got a shield. So we're already at the fireball shield at 8 minutes in.
Oh, and there's our first sword. Hallelujah.
So this isn't swordless no more, my friends.
So getting the sword this early is nice. Even though they have a weapon, Samaria doesn't hit everything. Specifically, doesn't hit every boss. So finding that sword early is always a positive.
And actually, with the equipment that these runners have at this point, they do not have anything that can beat a dungeon at this point.
That is correct.
A lot of rupees, which is good because we're going to be paying the bottle vendor a visit in just a moment.
Full heart, another heart. Wow, we're getting pretty healthy pretty early.
Don't worry, Gem. We know where there's another piece of heart in case you really, really need additional health. Just arrows from the bottle vendor. Those are expensive arrows.
Yeah. Not as expensive as retro mode arrows.
And more bombs. Let's just keep giving these runners bombs when they need them.
So we have the bottle, so Jim is gonna talk to the sick kid. And 20
And
rupees.
just 20 rupees, yeah. Kid just gave him his allowance.
Oh, and there's the gloves.
There's something good right there.
Powered gloves allow us access to quite a bit, Death Mountain being one of them. With the sword, you can traverse through dark rooms fairly easily if you know the layout.
Yeah, that's right. It should be noted here that by logic, they do not have access to Death Mountain, but it's not going to be a problem for Gem. And isn't that vanilla?
I believe so.
We got a vanilla book in the library. VTorp.
Man, it's not time for the NMG tournament just yet.
We'll see if that book comes into play later on, whether or not they need to have the boots come back. Now, if this is vanilla, this is for a piece of heart.
Oh, nope, an arrow upgrade.
No, it's not. We're not going to get that arrow upgrade. Gem's going to save and quit, and he's going to do the South Shore now.
If I'm being completely honest, I actually don't know where any of the upgrades are in this game. Like vanilla. I know where all of the heart pieces are. I have no idea where the upgrades are. But we're moving on to Lake Hylia South Shore, like Rick said. Lots of items here. Lots of decisions to be made depending on if we find more money or the Moon Pearl.
Instead, we find a piece of heart. Samberwolf finds out that that's not exactly what he wants to go through a race game to get. Jax is about to get disappointed. Dr. Bob Tastic is going to check first before he gets disappointed. Just a reminder for those joining us, this is standard randomized sword. We did get a sword in Kakarika Village. We get a heart container in the dam, and Gem's going to say, no, I don't need that. I've got enough health at this point. And then he finds out the Moocher Crab here does not have anything good. It's just out, so go ahead. Notice Gem did go back to get those 20 rupees, so he does have Zora on the mind if he is able to get the rupees for it at this point.
Yeah, I'm guessing he was basically hoping... He's now expanded his options.
Titan's Mitt was behind Sarashla.
Boots!
And there's the boots. So we now have access to the book. Or rather, the book. Hook shot there. We also know Turtle... Oh, wow. So... let's just back up because there's so much that just happened right there. Gem just got the hook shot, the boots, and the Moon Pearl. Saberwolf got the Titan's Mitt, but also knows that Turtle Rock is going to be the green pendant.
Ooh, that's actually pretty big. Fire Rod might not be required if Skullwoods is the other pendant. So that Turtle Rock being a pendant cuts out a lot of required items. Gem is checking the Ice Rock Cave for us.
And once Gem gets on over to Sarashlo, that means Gem will have Dark World access as we get a red bottle. Saberwolf is checking Eastern to see if there's anything in here. Dr. Bob Tastic is checking Agena.
Oh, Gem is going to do the water walk. He's gonna load up the double water walk. It looks like.
Yeah, a great decision to do so. We get arrow upgrade from behind Agena. So here, oh,
no, it doesn't miss it. I thought that Bonkin would mess it up.
I thought the Bonk was going to lose it there. It may lose the... Oh, no, never mind, because he didn't store it. So we get a heart container there. He's going right straight to Zora. And that's the beautiful thing about getting the Moon Pearl, what he did, because now he can go check the behind the waterfall area.
Yep. That's what I was saying when it said, depending on what he gets to change his decisions. He got all the money, he got the Moon Pearl, so he's going to check all this. He doesn't know, though, that Sashrilla is going to give him what he really wants. And that's Dark World access and not the best Dark World access, but it's also going to give him access to Hookshot Cave.
Did not even see what was on the Zora ledge. His screen was too far over. So Gem is going to make his way to Sarashla. I don't see why he wouldn't at this point. The hookshot is nice. Oh, the flute from Zora!
Wow! That's gonna send him away from Sashrilla for a while, I think.
Yeah, he's going to go to the Sanctuary now. Therefore, he's going to go flute. He's going to activate this flute because obviously that's going to be some time saved via walking. And we've got a lot of other places we can check. So right now, Saberwolf has some good information, but Saberwolf not checking South Shore, it's going to limit his movement at this point. We're going to see him go into the darkness.
It depends. He'll probably do South Shore after this, depending on what he finds here. Right? Unless he finds Dark World access here. Oh no, he can't. Just pearls out down there. So yeah, he's actually gonna be pretty lucky.
Yeah, Saberwolf is not going to get Dark World access. He can maybe find the hammer, but he knows that the hammer's not Dark World access. Dr. Bob Tastic not storing up the water dash. And Saberwolf's going to find out what's in the big chest, the big key chest, and it just turns out to be 20 rupees. So the decision here for Gem is, what does Gem do once after we activate the flute?
Probably Death Mountain with that.
Yeah,
the
wealth of items that Gem has access to.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if he had the Titans from Sashrilla, he would have access to literally every chest on Death Mountain except for Hera.
That's correct. Saberwolf's going to be going to the dam now, and so Gem is going to go pick up that book because we don't know if that book is needed.
Gem could use it for desert right now if they really wanted to.
I think Gem's thinking Ether Tablet at this point.
Yeah. Can't get to Ether Tablet right now, though.
Oh, that's right. Well, maybe. Oh, he's checking Srashla first.
That's huge. This is actually huge for Gem. Gem making sure to check Sphere 0, which is sort of an outdated term, but for those of you who wish to know, basically just means all the items that you can get without any items. Some runners will skip some of those spots out of the way. Others will opt to get all of the Sphere 0 to start so they don't miss something by going all the way across the world.
So no, Gem has Dark World access after picking up those Titans myths. So where does Gem go from here? And he's blowing the flute. He's going to go up to Death Mountain, I would have to assume. Yep, there we go.
I would have also accepted quickly checking Meyer, like the two chests there, check the medallion, etc.
Oh, that's right. He does have access to that as well.
Yeah. Either of these would have been good options. One would have required 2 save inputs. I'm gonna guess that Gem is hoping for a mirror. That would be really nice. Ooh, yep. Dr. Bob cancels his water walking accidentally.
Yeah, he does, and we do know that it was a heart container that was on the Zora ledge.
Yeah. And Bob is about to get his flute.
And Bombos from the uncle, or from the old man, rather.
Interesting. Interestingly enough, that actually increases the chance of this being a fire rodless sea, but we still don't know what the Dark World crystals and pendants are.
We're going to find out in a little bit. Gem's going to check Spectacle Rock, and then it's going to be Eastside Death Mountain. And I missed seeing what was in there, but obviously it wasn't important enough. He's heading on over to the Eastside Death Mountain.
And this is where a lot of chests are. There's 7 in the Paradox Cave, which is this cave right here. The cave with 3 entrances and 7 items. We've got the Spiral Cave, which is everyone's favorite cave with boots. And
right now, at this point, he has access to 14 different chests between various caves.
Mm-hmm. And can check Turtle Rock medallion. And I'd like to point out we have access to Turtle Rock.
No, we don't.
We don't have Hammer. You're right. You're right.
It just means we're going to find the hammer in this cave.
That would actually be wonderful. Oh,
No,
but
there's the bow, though.
I'll accept the bow as an answer.
That now makes for gems consideration Eastern completable, although we still don't have lamp by logic.
It also starts adding thoughts to your head that he might want you to do Adenum to get to pod. That's always an interesting one.
The thing is we don't even have access to Aghanim at this point.
Yeah.
We don't have a cape, we don't have a master sword, either of those two, and we don't have the lamp.
There are still lots of places to check, though.
Absolutely. And there's one spot that Jem didn't get to because of how he routed it. King's Tomb is open.
Ah, you're right.
Being told Cape was on Floating Island.
Oh. Well, that's not necessarily available to us. We do need the mirror for that.
That's right. 6 more spots that Jem can check, plus we can find out what the medallion is for Turtle Walking, the event that we need to go in there. Remember, it's green pendant. So Jaxus and Jem are both on the same path right now. Jem's just leading what Jaxus is doing. Saberwolf is probably going to be in tow after he activates the flute here.
Oh, Master
There's a
Sword.
sword too.
Don't have the lamp, though. So Adrian not actually in the picture. And even if you know that dark room, then you do not just do that. Even the best runners say never, ever, ever.
Bombos for Turtle Rock.
Okay, give us the hammer and the mirror in this cave.
And we are going to need the fire rod, as it does turn out that Skull Woods is a crystal. Palace of Darkness is your other pendant dungeon.
Interesting. That could put off hammer for a while. We don't need hammer for much in this seed. Swamp, but that's about it. This could be one of those rare hammer is go mode.
Swamp and ice. There's silvers.
That's nice. Nice little addition. Now we're getting a. Oh,
turns out the ice is one of our 5-6 as well.
Saber is going to mire. Gonna check these 2 items and check what. Oh, I didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it either. Jem's gonna check King's Tomb though. We just get a heart piece out of King's Tomb though. And Myers Shed gives us some arrow upgrade, and there's your flippers.
So it doesn't. They didn't get anything from the water yet, so that doesn't put anything new. That doesn't change anything so far, I think.
No, but we're just a lamp away from having Ice Palace be in logic.
True. Ah, yes, because we got because Bombos was lamp locked. Interesting. I'm predicting a lamp in. Let's go Hype Cave, because that's the most annoying spot for it, I think, right now.
I think Jax is gonna. I know Jaxus can't check that because right now we just have Titans for Dark World access, which means you got to go through Kakariko Village.
Correct.
Which is where Jaxus is going now. So here's our route divergence. Saberwolf is checking, and there's a clothing upgrade there for Saberwolf, as the hobo has given him the clothes off his back. So Jax is down to the Dark World as well. We'll take a look at the map and see and jot down on his own tracker what's going to be happening here. And Saberwolf is joining him in the Dark World over here in the Village of Outcasts. Now, Dr. Bob Tastic has not visited Sarashula, so he does not have Dark World access at this point. Piece of heart at the chess game.
The heart colors are different because it's a new option for colorblind players, or anyone, I guess, if you like the other colors better. There's red, green, blue, and yellow.
So you're both checking out the Skull Woods, which is an interesting decision at this point. Nothing so far in here. Dr. Bob Tash about to get the news about Turtle Rock being the green pendant and also find his Titans-Mate.
Nice moves on Saberwolf, using the hole to teleport. Dr. Bob getting his Titans.
For those tuning in late, the item from the uncle turned out to be the Cane of Samaria. That was what they had to go through the entire escape procedure with as we check out Thieves Town from Jax's, and Saber will checking out part 2 of Skullwoods.
Gem is to find out what the prize for killing the Armos Knights are.
And it does appear to me that one of the items in is going to be fun. Took Gem a little bit of a few arrows, but finally does knock off the green Igor to get the key to drop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the powder.
If you remember, the cane, the cape, turned out to be on the floating island. Is it required for something? Well, it's for a red bottle. We're not going to get that.
Unfortunately, one less red bottle for us.
I'm interested in where Saberwolf is going to be going to. Are we checking Catfish at this point? That's where it looks like we're going.
Maybe.
Get to Catfish and then check the pyramid area.
He does have those flippers, which nobody else has gotten yet. So that's his, like, one difference, but...
Compass was the item from the Armos Knights, so nothing good there. We already saw 3 items in Eastern Palace. Jax is putting that powder to good use.
The early Catfish check.
Is Catfish going to be worth something good here?
Nope, just
no.
money.
50 rupees, and I once again have missed what the medallion required to get into Misery Mire is. Gem about to pick up the flippers.
Our trackers say ether.
Well, that's a good thing then. Another item these guys need.
Is it good? You don't want the seed to go as fast as possible?
Well,
I always
yes
like
and no.
I don't know, the minimum item seeds is interesting. So Ice Rod, that's leading credence to chat's hopes that the green pendant is required.
And I haven't been keeping a track here as far as Jax's is concerned. Actually, no. Guess what? The big chest is going to have a small key in it.
Yeah, that's... So for those of you who... Again, I assume that people might be picking back up now that Key Sanity's done. There is actually a logic now in the other modes where, or actually even in Key Sanity, keys can actually be locked behind themselves. It's called one logic. So keys and big keys can be locked and completely inaccessible.
Interesting strategy here from Dr. Bob Tastic, using the bombos to take care of those squiggly things. I don't know what they're called. They're just annoying.
Yeah.
Nice blind kill there for Janx's. What is this prize? Another compass. Well, we get our second crystal shown on our screen here. Jem picking up the one out of Eastern. Jax is getting the one out of Thiestown.
I wonder, Jim's probably going to do Thiestown, because it's a crystal, and they're right there. But when will they cheat Ice Palace right away with their bomb?
Ice Palace is a tough decision to make because of how much time you have to invest into it when you're not in go mode.
And without the hammer, so it would be a giant gamble. But is that worth it?
We've seen bizarre gambles in the past.
So Jim might also be opting to do the smiths, the blacksmiths, after this, because they can walk back up there with their titans.
I'm going to assume that he's going to go grab the smith and then go to the hype cave, the flute boy, and things like that. As we're doing some digging here, trying to find out what the item is, and this one's a long dig.
And it is a piece of heart? Nope, money.
50 rupees, all the way towards the very end. Almost had to completely use up your entire timer to figure that one out.
Yeah, Jim picking up that, and luckily you can run with the frog, so...
Dr. Bob Tastic about to pick up the Meyer, the flippers out of Meyer. Just to know for our tracker, Jim does have the flippers.
Will Jim go as far as to take this all the way to Catfish? Probably not. And then that's Jim's style. I'm not sure though. Will they full clear the overworld, because there doesn't mean that much.
Well, he does have the means to do so with those flippers.
Quite a few gambles that you can make with the hammer, and you're almost required to.
All right, Hype Cave time. Our first check, all the seed. What do we get? Money. Money.
More. Hearts?
Heart.
Oh, more money.
Money.
Oh, more money.
Well,
okay.
That was Hype Cave for you.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed.
Bring back the days when the item could be a golden sword, a tempered sword, master sword, in that order.
So I gotta ask this question now. Where did Jaxus get the fire rod?
Oh, wow, it must have been...
Had to be in Thiestown or something like that.
Does he have fire rod and not ice rod then?
Yeah, he's got fire rod. Because he's in the back half of
Oh, it's not ice rod!
Skull.
Oh, it's the fire rod. We all called it ice chat, and everyone called it ice rod, including us. Oh my gosh.
Well, it wasn't an ice rod.
Nope. But it is a much better rod than that. Oh, okay. This changes everything.
Piece of heart on the pyramid. All right, so let's go face off against Mothula.
Annoying boss. Especially if he just decides to chill at the edges of the room. So, boss cannot be damaged if he hits the spikes during his damage animation. Well, he can be, but it gets negated down to 0. And he's dead.
Nice
well
fight.
done. Yeah. Very nice.
Gets 20 rupees, which is good only because we know that's the second item. You don't have to go back in through that maze. So it turns out Skullwoods has nothing for progression, but it's good to get that one taken care of while you're going through the Thieves area.
So, Jim has even taken the frog to Death Mountain.
Yeah, we're taking him up here so we can flute away with him.
Yeah. Turning him into his home finally after a nice world tour.
Yep, and we're going to see what the reward is for it. Now, note here is at this point, none of these runners have the ability to check Batcave. There's a shovel.
That's interesting. Where's Jim heading now? To shut the shovel right away. Meanwhile, though, we know that there's progression in Thieves Town, which I've noticed some people saying that it doesn't. It's less likely to hold progression now, but I don't know where that came from because I haven't had a seed where it hasn't been needed.
All right, what we're going to dig up? More money.
Nothing. Switching back to the float to never see the shovel again. Well, except for maybe on other people's screen.
And I think now the play for Gem is to go pick up that purple chest. Maybe going to Thieves Town. We know that's the play that these runners have to make. Instead, he's going to go into Skull Woods. Saber trying to get away from the digging game, and well, the digging game decided that it was going to talk. So we're 36 and a half minutes into the seed here. Right now, we know that Thieves Town is beatable. We know once you get through Thieves Town, that's going to allow Skull Woods to be completable. That would get you 3 of your crystals. Now, also, don't forget we got the book, so once you also get that fire rod, that means desert will be beatable as well.
Yeah, there's a lot open to these runners. This is pretty crazy seed. So much open, yet at the same time, not enough. Jim, unfortunately, in the wrong dungeon, this dungeon contains nothing in this seed.
In the wrong dungeon, and we'll have to backtrack into here. It won't be a long backtrack. It's just the fact that you're going to have to backtrack at this point. That's more of the concern.
Yeah, especially when you're in a race with 28 other people. So.
And just to know, while people are cleaning up things that we've already seen before, we will be doing these races now through the start of the spring tournament. 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock Eastern time, except for tomorrow when we were going to be doing the 3 o'clock standard weekly race.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Cool.
That is what we are doing.
I wasn't sure on that, but that is awesome to hear.
Yeah, we just got clarification of that about half an hour before we started off here. So we are going to be doing the 3 o'clock weekly tomorrow. Otherwise, we are going to be doing races at 2 and 10. The way it's going to work out is we're going to alternate the standard randomized sword seed with something else. If it's the 10 o'clock slot that the other thing is in, it's going to be whatever the mode the daily challenge is, and otherwise it's going to be some random mode.
We had Entrance the other day. Could be, well, we'll have the standard weekly, which always has a nice, more casual feel to it than even the dailies do, I feel. If you ever wanted to just get started with racing, every week, 3 p.m. on Saturday, every week, 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, we have weeklies. They get really big, so you don't have to feel intimidated. You can see how you do against a larger community. It's pretty fun. A gem getting turned into a bunny while in midair. That was interesting.
Isn't that bunny abuse?
Aww. Poor bunnies.
So, in serious at this point, we don't have a whole lot of items that can turn out to be on the pedestal. We know the ice rod can't be there, the hammer can't be there, the lamp can't be there. Ether can, and so too can the mirror or whatever can lead to those items.
Right.
Answering chat, somebody did check Agena, and I believe it was just just arrows.
I'm starting to lean towards not vanilla. I'm starting to lean towards lamp at desert. Lamp is required in every seed because there's 4 dungeons that require it. So,
And there's confirmation that was the fire rod up there. So, Gem picking up the fire rod, probably muttering a few things like, "Why couldn't I have had this a few moments ago when I was actually up there?"
Yep.
Should be note that when we say lamp is required, lamp by logic is required. And for all we know, the rate that we're getting things, lamp could even be in the panels of darkness at this point. We get simultaneous from Dr. Bobtastic and Jaxus. Gem here about to find out the key is going to be in the... So no worries about that 4th item at all.
Yeah, I know some people really dislike that that 1-for-1 ledger. I think it's cool. Makes you think a little bit more. Can sometimes save you time. I think it's always nice to have the seed save you time. Saber will pick up his fire rod. Now, is this where does he just run into desert? Or does he have the shovel? He has the shovel, so that's where he's going. Oh, nope.
He just overran it.
Ah, I see.
Now, Dr. Bobtastic is back up here on Death Mountain, and the reason why he's back up here on Death Mountain is he came up here earlier without the Titans met, I believe, so therefore he now is back here on a backtrack.
He may also have hopes.
Actually, no, he does. He's already been up here. He's got the silver arrows. So it's interesting what he's up to.
Doesn't have the hammer, so can't check any of that. I'm going to Skullwoods.
Jaxus is going... This is the part where we try to figure out where these runners are going.
Mm-hmm.
And... Oh, Jaxus is grabbing the purple chest.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen that. Jets probably hates Eastern Palace. Maybe that's it. Because he definitely hasn't been there yet.
Gem heading to the back here of Skull Woods as Jaxus goes and turns in the purple chest. We'll find out what's in there. It's going to be our first look.
Jim doing a crazy fast mummy room.
So confirm that Dr. Bobtastic didn't make himself up here earlier. Bomb upgrade from the purple chest. Not what he needed to see.
He has only one sword. Whoops. So
Well, Dr. Bobtastic will soon have the silvers. And we're going to get the Agena check first, but then Jaxus, with the book in hand, may check Desert. Be our first check in there.
That would be nice to finally see, although it would be nice if he had his flippers from there as well. Only runner who hasn't checked the Mire area. Understandable. I like to wait till I have the mirror, personally.
Do we even know what's on the desert ledge yet?
I feel like we don't. I feel like nobody's checked it.
I feel like we don't either.
But when you get the flute and like the Titan so early, it's so annoying to check it.
Doesn't work like that, Dr. Bobtastic.
As much as we all wish.
I know. Alright, we're going to get our first look at the ledge. It's only 20 rupees, but what is inside? 2 items for grabs in desert.
Technically... Oh, sorry, we saw the ledge?
We just saw the ledge. It was 20 rupees.
My bad. I missed it entirely. So yeah, Bob finishing that up.
So now Dr. Bobtastic getting the silver arrows. Saber Wolf heading to the backside of Skull Woods. Gem also checking desert. We are starting to run out of locations where by logic these runners can go.
A small T opens up the chest on the left side. It looks like Bob is going to check Skullwoods, Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts combo. Fortunately making the same decision that almost everyone else did, which is quite a normal decision. Big key for Jazz Sex, that's in the vanilla spot.
Almost feels like at this point, one of two spots is going to have progression.
Yeah. Oh, we could have had this mirror a long time ago.
And that now officially opens up access to the Tower of Hera, amongst other mirror block spots.
Swamp Palace is one.
Yep, Swamp Palace as well. There's the other item. It's 20 rupees, but the big thing here, the mirror turns out to be in Desert Palace.
And we're gonna... Oh! Jazz Sex actually making, I think, the correct play. I think this might be faster. You can just go to Mire, check the mirror spot in Mire, the checkerboard cave, then go back to Desert and do the boss. What was keeping them from Desert? No mirror, actually, is hilariously is what kept them, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, I think what's their resiliency. They want to pair it together with Meyer, and it turns out in this case, you really couldn't pair it together with Meyer. And just a reminder that chat was pointing out to us, they only have access to one spot in Swamp at this point. Swamp is not a beatable dungeon.
Oh, wait. Swamp is beatable?
Swamp is not beatable at this point.
Oh, yeah. It, only that one chest is checkable. Is always, like, in the back of your mind. Like, it is the only not Hammerlock chest available.
Well, two chests, actually, but one of them is guaranteed to be a key.
You can't see, but my eyes are the eyes emote. No, it's, yeah, everyone's getting funneled towards Desert right now.
Yeah, this is where the seed wants him to go. Dr. Bobtastic running a little behind at this point, just because certain gambles haven't paid off for him at this point.
Gem to try to one cycle, and gets it.
Nice kill there for Gem. You know, this isn't going to be an item, as Jax is now going up against Lamola. See if we can't get the one cycle from him. There's one, there's two, there's three. Perfect. Saberwolf about to get this mirror. And did we see what was in checkerboard yet? I don't think so.
I don't believe we have yet. Both of our runners went straight to the boss area.
And we get
and
the
there's
third
Tempered.
sword. Yeah,
That's-
tempered sword.
Yeah, that's worth the walk up.
Jax is about to pick it up as well. So Jim's going to go ahead and check the Agena here. We'll be disappointed with this. Where would you go now, based on what we have? Would you make the trip up to Hera? Jax's is going somewhere else. We're going to the potion shop.
Without Hera, I think... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, this one would stump me for a bit, I think.
It seems the way that Jax's is playing this, could Ice Palace be in the cards?
Well, it could have the hammer.
No, he's not.
What, Jazz's? Jazz's could still be doing ice.
Oh, he
Take off all the way
is.
there.
He's going to just go the different way. I think he's going to check Hobo, too. I don't know if he's checked Hobo or not.
Oh. I'm pretty sure
No, he's going right straight for ice. Okay.
Well, if
Welcome.
Jazz rewatches this, he can now know that it is faster to flute to 7, or flute to 8, and then jump into the water from there.
Jen's also checking something we haven't checked yet, the magic bat, and now we finally have the access to do so via the mirror.
Hmm.
And it's just 20 rupees.
Funny. I just don't see much on. I swear, there's only something on there if, like, it requires a crazy amount of work to get the powder.
Remember, this is a gamble for Jax's because this is not a dungeon that they can beat at this point.
No, but it does have 3 items, and it's probably the fastest dungeon he can access right now. So, like, Pod is also accessible but not completable. Hera is accessible, completable but not a crystal. Swamp only has 1 item that you can check.
Talked about Tastic suffering a death to blind.
That's a tough boss, honestly. Jazzis also doesn't like sequence break too much, so he won't do an Eastern.
That's right, because the only reason why Jax's is in here at this point is because he had found the fire rod.
Well, he was the last one to get his flippers, so it feels more natural for him at this point to have to go here. Placing down 2 bombs just to make sure he kills.
Gonna have to watch out for his health as we get ready to see if he pulls off the bomb jump.
Oh, no, he's not. So he's gonna grab that extra heart there. Dutch Bob abusing the cane. Allows you to get 2 hits off of blind. Oh, 3 even sometimes. Wow, okay.
Maybe if it just had it in the perfect setup there.
Yeah, that it didn't. Because it. Cane of Samaria gets eaten by, like, the head, even if it's undamageable, so.
Piece of heart, one of the 3 items inside the ice, and Jax's was about ready to go over and check the remaining 2 chests, and then remembers, I don't have a hammer.
Yeah.
Gem checking the south of Graveyard, the south of Haunted Grove, and that's just a piece of heart as well.
Oh, he doesn't have the bombos. Oh, there it is!
Hammers and
there it is!
ice! Oh!
Go back, yes! No. Walk back upstairs. Holy crap, that is huge.
So the gamble for Jax is actually paying off, and we'll have to ask Jax's later if he thought he had hammer going in. That is huge news right there.
Wow. That's insane. We need Ether, the lamp, And we're in no mode with those two. This is a amazing call. So that's 2 of the 3 items here. He can finish this dungeon now. Ether is the true go mode. Lamp is technically required, but not needed because we have the fire rod. So, but with under stress, Meyer as a crystal. Very few people know that dark room specifically. The dark room there is very difficult.
And Gem going into swamp, and we know this is now a empty play.
So, on top of that, well, if he finds Ether in this chest here,
Ether's the only thing that can be on the pedestal at this point. And he gets just a compass.
So, Jazz's X 100% should go to Swamp after this. That's 6 items he can check, or he can look for, out of 10 chests. And if Ether's there, then he basically wins. He'll have touched no pendants, pretty much. No pendants. That would be the best of both worlds.
Looks like Saberwolf is making the play for the Tower of Hera now. Gem is skirting on over, and I think we're checking the Palace of Darkness.
Oh, that's going to be a long check.
And this is into a pendant dungeon, so the only thing that could happen for Gem would be to find Ether in here.
Yep. Which would then send them to...
Speaking of Ether,
Meyer.
There's your mirror shield.
See, that's worrisome, if I'm honest.
Why?
Because now Laser Bridge is in Logic.
Well, Laser Bridge was already in Logic because Saberwolf has Cane of Burna.
True.
Now, this is why Jax has ended up purchasing those potions, because he's going to need it for this upcoming fight against Cold Stare. Apparently we had a misclick. Saberwolf does not have Burna, but Saberwolf does have a path downstairs. Dr. Bobtastic's gonna have to be careful here. He does have that red potion still, thankfully. Not a fight you want to have to go back and do again.
Yeah. Oh, a clean fight for Jazzis.
Yeah, sweet on the Cold Stare kill.
The classic small key on Cold Stare.
Which means, by logic, Ice Palace required you to have the Cane of Samaria to get in, which obviously they got from the uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's play 100% Swamp. Or... Oh no, he doesn't have the lap, so he hasn't checked that. Man, this is crazy. Let's see, this is nuts. No, you can't walk there. But yes, you can. You did technically walk there. Not the way he's doing, though. Oh, he hasn't checked. Okay. That was risky. That was very risky on his part. To not check this right here and then go to ice. I would have done it the other order.
Yeah, he's probably going to be just a little unhappy with the fact that it dropped the blue mail, but Saberwolf does do the Tower of Hera. Was for a pendant, and it was not valuable, as we just saw 20 rupees and 10 arrows inside.
Dr. Bob. Did he not finish? Did he not beat Mothula? He was there. I missed.
There's Ether
Oh! In pod?
in pod
Okay, that's huge.
in the turtle.
Well, I don't know when Gem makes the play on ice, but it's not gonna be for a while. Because they can do Mire now. I think they're gonna go to Mire now. Jazz is gonna full clear Swamp, which is a huge time sink. So we're in no mode now. We know where everything is. Runners do not.
One thing we're missing is the lamp.
Yeah.
There's the lamp.
Whoa!
Lamp
Wow.
and Ether in pod.
The logic on this seed required Acronym, I believe.
No, it didn't, because that lamp being in Palace of Darkness.
Where were Flippers though? Flippers were in
Mire Shed.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think the type. Yeah. Okay, no, it didn't. Okay, sorry. For a second there, I thought that it required. Oh yeah, it couldn't.
Red
can't
mail also in
require
pod?
Ada. I'm a. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, chat. That's crazy though.
But that's huge. We now know where everything is, including the lamp. That's a crazy seed here. So
Yeah.
if Gem goes to Ice Palace soon, big advantage for Gem, actually.
I think they're gonna go to Mire first.
Yep, Myers first. And Gem is able to beat this dungeon. We'll be checking more of this dungeon than we would like to see him check, but it's in the way that works here. Jaxus is checking a lot more of this swamp than he really wants to check.
Yeah, and I think I'd rather be in Gem's position, actually.
Yeah, Gem's in a sweet position because you are coming across that hammer on your way to ice. The only question is when do you get inside? The other thing is the hammer blocks so much in this game.
Yep. With the hammer open, there's so many places Jazz is check. And if he's the person who avoids sequence breaks, like people have said, and like I remember, Pod is a weird place for him to go next.
But he does. But he does logically have everything he needs to beat it.
Yep. Well, except for the lamp.
But that he's going to find it inside. So
True.
he may start thinking there's some value in pod. I can get to X amount of chests without going into a dark room. Why not check it?
Yeah, I've seen lamp in Pod quite a few times when it's not in Light World. It's just a lot. It's an interesting place for it to be because those are easy dark rooms once you learn them. Because there's like walls you can bounce on, and that always makes the dark room easier. The Mire dark room's hard because there's no real way to stumble onto the spot for the switch, and that's the only one that's hard.
Now we did find the blue cane.
Okay.
It was in the Swamp Palace. Jax has got it out of the big chest.
What's chest density? I think they're equal because it's 5 out of it's like 5 chests. It's 5 versus 6, so Pod has higher chest density.
And pod is faster to get to those chests.
So Pod is actually logically more likely. If you really want to get technical and start thinking about chest density and all that stuff for small percentages.
That's a fun spot for the big key in Mire.
Gem's heading now to the boss. Oh, checking this. Hasn't found all the items yet.
Gem's gonna have to be careful down to a half a heart.
Dr. Bob grabbing a free ferry.
Great idea for Dr. Bob Tastic. You don't want to go through the next section and end up dying.
Oh, Saberwolf is heading to Pod.
So we know that this is the right play for Saberwolf just because of the fact that it does have the required ether.
Why is it difficult to get to Pod without Hammer? It's not so much. It's actually somewhat time consuming. Without the hammer, you have to swim like around. It takes about 5 seconds to swim around. And it's just so awkward to get to that most people don't think about it.
It's more along the lines of the path to get there, I guess.
It's hard to route it in with other things is the biggest part of it, honestly.
So the runners here, the ones we're keeping an eye on the most would be Gem and Jaxus. Gem's got a decision to do after he gets done with this Misery Mire. And Jax is about ready to make his way to the second half, the back half of Swamp. And a clean kill there of the Lamolas for Dr. Bob-tastic. Just a shame that late to the party in regards to getting just about everything. The fire rod, the mirror and such for him. Just been slowing his C down. And silver arrows here for Gem. That means Vitreous is not really that much of a pest.
Yeah, you can actually zero cycle him really quickly.
Dr. Bob-tastic heading over to the Mire area again. I'm wondering if he's checking checkerboard. He hasn't done that yet. So now the play for Gem. Do we go into Ice Palace? In fact, I think for Gem, that may be one of the few plays he's got left.
Oh, Hera!
That's right, Hera, that's right.
That's where they're going. Saberwolf's actually still on Master Sword, same with Dr. Bob. Oh, Dr. Bob now has Temper, never mind. Just left that
Yeah.
game.
Yep, he just left the checkerboard cave where he picked up his tempered sword as Saberwolf going through the Palace of Darkness. So, just to recap for those who are just tuning in, we know where everything is for Go Mode. Gem, Dr. Bob-tastic, Saberwolf, they're missing the hammer. That was in Ice Palace, in the Freezor room. Right now, those three, or rather, Gem knows where the Ether and the lamp are. They're in the Palace of Darkness. Saberwolf's going to get them in the backside here. So the question is when does Jaxus go to the Palace of Darkness? When does Gem go to Ice Palace?
Yep. There isn't too much left for Gem to check, but again, like we said, having the hammer, it opens up a lot. Gives him a lot of options, and that's kind of a bad thing. He doesn't have Bombos, though. I don't remember where it is. But that means that he's not going to somehow stumble into Turtle Rock.
Bombos was at the Old Man up the mountain.
Ah, and he didn't do that with the lamp, so that's good for us, for him at least, or for us for a close race.
That's correct. The big thing here is Jaxus has got to make the play in the Palace of Darkness real soon.
He does. It's not where he's headed. Oh, actually, he might still be where he's headed. I forgot to... No, he has the hammer.
He's probably checking the graveyard. No, he's not. He's checking Peg Cave. He's checking Peg Cave.
Yes.
Saberwolf got the Ether and the lamp out of the Palace of Darkness. Going to clean up the left side just in case. Just by magic, it would have the hammer. We know it doesn't. But we'll be happy with finding the red mail. And it turns out just to be a heart container inside the Peg Cave, so nothing groundbreaking. Jackson's also going to be checking the magic bat at this point. All right, so Gem's next move has to be ice. Where does Saberwolf go? There's Gem heading for ice. Does Saberwolf go the same direction? Well, Saberwolf is loading up on potions. I have a belief that Saberwolf is going to be heading to ice as well.
Yeah, and Gem is Ice Palace. So, like I said, this is going to put him into go mode quite shortly, actually.
That's right. Oh, Saberwolf's going to go. He's got the ether, so he's going to go into Misery Mire. So Saberwolf's not making the play for Ice Palace just yet. And Jaxus, what is your next move here? Like I said, just having the hammer so rough because it opens a lot of spots that may be troublesome, one that he's thinking of, and he doesn't want to go in there at this point because he doesn't have the lamp.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't even checked all the mirror spots yet.
Saberwolf picking up the tempered sword before even thinking about going into the mire area. Keeping the wheels moving here, keeping the thoughts going. This is just a crazy game that we play here with Randomizer, trying to figure out what the runners are thinking at this point.
I think all of our runners are thinking, man, I'm quite happy I'm this close to go mode, but some of these runners, ones who are missing ether, they're like, please, whatever you do, don't be on pedestal.
Yep, that's for certain. As Gem ends up pulling off the bomb jump pretty efficiently, Saberwolf now into mire. Jaxus is checking to see what is up here at the bumper cave. We'll be happy to find out that it's nothing important. Because we know where the cape is. It's on the floating island up on Death Mountain.
Yep. And so that just basically cuts out 2 locations needing to be done. You have to look at both of them, don't have to collect them.
I have a feeling that after Jaxus is done checking this stuff, he may make the play for the Palace of Darkness. And Gem here coming up, here dealing with the Freezors, and at 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 43 seconds, Gem's the first of these runners on the feature to be in
Go mode! This is, for those of you who don't know, go mode is basically just what we call the state that the runners are in when they don't need to check any more locations. They are able to complete the game only looking for the required keys and big keys. Maybe check the occasional chest for a sword if they're still stuck on a lower level sword. But when you got tempered, Gem is going to be doing as little as possible from here on out. This is easily going to be a sub 30 seed, considering the only dungeon that we have after beating Cold Stare is Swamp Palace, which takes, like, I think about a minute and a half to 2 minutes to beat in go mode.
Yeah, Gem's going to be slaughtering through Swamp, coming up real fast. Jaxus, at this point, trying to make his way.
He's headed. I think he's there.
This is the pod play. This has got to be the pod play at this point. You're almost out of options.
He's doing it. Yes,
here we go.
This is it. Wow, this is going to be actually pretty close. I think both these run. Oh, wait, where is he going?
Pyramid, maybe? He hasn't checked the pyramid yet?
Yeah, pyramid and catfish first. Touchable test is going to pod. This is interesting because he doesn't have ether either, so, or he doesn't have hammer either. So he's basically falling behind Gem. Nice thing for Saberwolf is Saberwolf will only have. Oh, Jez is going to pod now. Fantastic. So we have almost all the runners on their way to their final items. Saberwolf doesn't really have another option left other than ice, unless he decides to start. Yeah, no, his only option after this is the Ice Palace. So even when the seed takes you for the longest, right? It doesn't look like it's a very long seed, honestly.
It seemed like it was going to be quite the seed, and then all of a sudden all the pieces started coming into play.
Yeah.
The worst thing of this seed was the hammer being in a dungeon that you need the hammer to beat, and the lamp being in a dungeon that you need the lamp to beat.
But with both of those, as it turns out, like, the hammer locks so much of the game.
And that's why Gem was starting to run out of options, why it was inevitable that Gem was going to head over to Ice Palace.
Yeah. It's not impossible. Hammer can be in any of the not hammer-locked chests in that dungeon. So...
Not having hammer meant that there was no way that we're going to get into Turtle Rock.
Yep.
So that's a good thing that we found Ether where we did, because that hammer would have opened the rock to be into consideration.
Which it did for, say, some of our runners. Oh, Saberwolf accidentally bonking into the Cadence Mario block. Not everybody knows that's a thing. You can actually charge at a Cadence Mario block and it will cause Link to bounce back a tiny little bit, but it'll send the Samaria block flying across the room.
And just a reminder, this is a SRL race with a bunch of other runners in it. These are just 4 of the 29, you said it was, that are being featured here.
Oh no, it looks closer to... It looks like it's 35.
It's actually 25.
25. Sorry, I counted everybody in the room. It counted everyone in the room, not just the voices.
You mean I count?
You count?
Yeah, apparently I count. In your logic.
Nice.
I'm in the room.
I did. I count too. Even Joke gets to count today.
Why would we want to count him?
He does a good job. He's a good bot.
Sometimes.
Exclamation mark good bot.
I can't count Elminster. It's beyond my programming.
That was a really fast kill for Gem. Wow. That was insane. I said really fast kill just before he killed. Don't let you're like half a minute behind. that was just insane.
So Saberwolf is done with Misery Mire. We know that Saberwolf has to make the play for Ice Palace coming real soon. Gem is heading on over towards Ganon's Tower. We like to play a little game in regards to the guessing here in chat. You're already starting to see some numbers. Zonas, do you want to tell people what we're guessing?
Sure. Basically, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower basement. And any of those chests can have the bid key. Well, technically there's 23, but that one's the bid chest. Bid key can't be there. So chat likes to guess. And when we start the standard tournament, the 1v1, we'll even have a guessing game in chat that you can participate in. Subscribers can get on a leaderboard for. But we can't do it for this race because we don't know. Somebody could already be in Ganon's Tower. They could be fighting Adra 2 right now. We have no idea.
And I just want to point out, it's not just subscribers, also people who support with their bits as well. If they support with 250 or more bits in any of the Speed Gaming channels.
Yep. And don't forget that we also have a Discord open to, Speed Gaming has a Discord open to everybody. And if you have ever donated 250 or more bits, make sure to let a admin know and they can give you the supporter status.
And Jax is here at 1 hour 19 and 30 seconds. Now officially in go mode, and it's time to leave this dungeon.
He realized that he is in go mode. He has his lamp. He has it. He's gonna mirror Pete Eastern.
Yep, and then also hit Misery Mire as well. So Gem heading into again into tower. We're gonna keep an eye on the IRC, see if anyone else has finished here, because there's a possibility that other people could get a sub 90 on this seed, especially the way that the items were laid out. Gem is the first of our runners in. Nobody has finished yet. By the way, I'm gonna guess chest number 9. What do you guess, Elnus?
I like to say 1 or 22. I either want it to be an easy chest to find,
Butter and
or I don't want it's 22. That way, that everybody has to do the whole thing. They have to do every room. And I think that requires more skill, and that's what I like. It has nothing to do with trolling. I just think that the basement of GT is actually fun to play. GT is the best designed dungeon in the entire game, so. Start off getting butter in the first or second chest for most people. Some people do different strats. Just with PSA being on for so long, we almost forgot there are like multiple ways to do this dungeon. It's not just pray that. Oh, and there it is.
Key found. If you guess chest number 6, you are the winner. Now for Janxis, you need to have a big key to go through that door as well in Eastern. He forgot it.
Yep. So, wow, this is awesome.
And how many sword slashes are we going to see from Jaxus when we get that big key? We're going to see none.
He's playing this pretty calm. I think he realized, man, I'm in sub 130 go mode. This seed for me is going to be like under 140, depending on where the big key in Mire is. He might be feeling a little flustered, depending on how often he's gone this fast in a bid race. This is pretty insane. It's always nice to be in go mode before the first dot done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Saberwolf now in Ice Palace will have the hammer coming real soon.
Jazzis actually has a interesting setup for that room to only spawn 2 skeletons. That's cool. Jam going through what we call the gauntlet, which is basically the series of rooms climbing up the tower. People usually refer to these first 5 rooms as the gauntlet, but the entire tower climb is pretty intense, actually.
Dr. Bobtastic needing to keep an eye on his health down to 1.5 hearts here.
And
as we see that Gem going through the gauntlet, and we just got our first dot done. Hippos winning this seed, 122-37.
yeah, and that's pretty insane. I mean, that means that they were doing they probably took about the same route as Gem. Actually, they might have taken Jazz's X's route, but went straight to pod after instead of doing all the overworld. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think what it was is a little less overworld exploration. Like, if Jaxus made his way over to the Palace of Darkness right after going into the Ice Palace and finding the hammer there, we'd probably be talking about Jaxus being up for contention for this first place finish as well.
Yep, absolutely. And in fact, I know Hippo knows Dark Rooms. He very well might have gone to Ice Palace, got an Ether, and mirrored. And gone to Ether without the lamp. So, I'd actually be curious.
Still a solid time shaping up here for Jaxus here. Somebody in chat said that his PB is 147 or something like that, which, if he's able to get through Mire here really fast, he's got a real good chance of beating that.
That's awesome. It's always nice to see. Now, I mean, PBs in Randomizer obviously are cool. I'm not going to take away anything from that, but less important, because obviously every seed is different. You really want to compare yourself to how you do against others in a seed. That's why I like racing over just doing a seed, because you can't see, like, okay, well, I was 3 items away from go mode in this seed when the finisher finished, or I was in GT. I was in the GT cutscene when somebody got done. That's awesome. So that's kind of what I liked about Rando. Every seed's different, and it's
But I really hope he gets this PB, and he is definitely on pace, because this is not a lawn mire. Depends on the route he takes.
And we end up getting the map inside the final chest here. As Jem makes his way over to Aga 2, we'll see how the blue balls come into play.
Mm-hmm. So, blue balls are, I think on Aga 2, completely random. The only one is that the first one can never be a blue ball, as far as I know.
And the thing is that everyone's going to have the same setup.
Yeah. It is completely random, but yes, everybody is going to have the exact same Adrenum and Ganon patterns. I think that all the teleports are seeded.
Yes. So if Ganon decided he wants to warp 83 times, well, that's what everyone's going to get, as Jem finishes off with Aga 2.
37.
And if these runners get 83 Ganon warps, they can blame me afterwards.
Yep. Oh, 37 warps.
Saberwolf, by the way, is in go mode. Dr. Bob Tastic is still a hammer away from being in go mode himself.
And Dr. Bob is making the right play onto ice, so he will be following these runners shortly.
So Jem here against Ganon here. This is not going to be a trivial fight. We've got Butter, we've got Silvers, no problem. Let's just dash right into him inside the circle of bats.
Yep, this is a common high-level strat. You have to also know how to dodge these.
One heart, gotta be careful.
Oh, and didn't hit. Oh,
wow,
okay,
that was close.
Yeah, if that knockback triggered a little earlier.
Beeping shreds here for Jem. Big shout out before we hear our first finisher on screen to Kippy and Yoko. They've been our trackers throughout this entire run. And now here comes all the warps. I'm sorry.
Wow, no, that was actually a lot of warps. Wow.
And we get ourselves to stage 4, get 1 silver on him, and we're going to try to get the torches to go out right near him. There we go. There's a double setting up. And get him over the corner, and that's going to be doing it as we wait to see if Jem can claim second place. That will do it, though. Jem, maybe a little butt clenching, but we'll finish off with the Ganon fight.
It was a really tight fight. I'm not sure if they... Jem might have actually been purposefully taking damage to make that closer. And that is Jem with an official time of 1:27.36, taking first place on the race stream and second place overall in the race.
And we're going to go see if we can't get Jem to come in here to talk about it. Jaxus should be the second of our featured players here to make their way up to Ganon's tower. Saberwolf will be the third, and Dr. Bob Tastic in fourth. As we'll continue to track the finishes as they come in, give you the official times as people are starting to wrap up the seed. 2 have finished. Congratulations to Hippos who crushed this seed.
Yeah, 122. Honestly, with that many Ganon warps, I think sub 120 was in his sights, but Ganon didn't want him to, so. The race for second in this seed is looking really close, actually. Sorry, I said seed, I meant stream. The race for second on the stream is looking pretty close, honestly.
Yeah, Saberwolf is going to be finishing off for the swamp about the same time that Jaxus is going to be finishing off Misery Mire. So Jaxus will be in the lead, but Saberwolf will be breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I think Jaxus is in the lead. Hello, Jem.
Hello.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your second place finish overall and first on the restream. Your thoughts about the seed as a whole?
Well, I guess classic V29 seed, just go to the overworld everywhere. Then take a wild guess which dungeon has your last item.
How happy were you to find the hammer inside of Ice? But by that point in time, you probably already had it pretty much concluded that Ice had to have it.
Yeah, it was the last spot I could check. Ice Palace, so I knew it had to be there. Or something leading to the hammer, which would have been the worst case.
Yeah, for a lot of our runners, the worst case was either on pedestal.
Oh no 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 no.
Oh
Dr.
no!
Bobtastic has not grabbed the hammer out of Palace. He has left. He didn't even check the freezer room. And he is now left and is going away.
Oh,
Oh no.
I'm not even sure. I guess he's going to Hera, but oh,
Okay, well, there was that. So, how confident does this make you heading into the tournament with that second place finish?
I guess pretty confident.
well, I mean, you are seeded already into the bracket, right?
Yeah, I'll have to sit out this Swiss round.
I saw you saying you seemed almost like you're almost willing to give up your guaranteed spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to wait like 1.5 months to play in a tourney setting.
Well, I mean, if you're super confident, you could risk it and enter.
Hell no.
Yeah, What, you don't want to play 6 weeks with us scrubs?
Well, it's more like...
I almost feel hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not really. You've earned that month and a half break.
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, coming out of your really good performance in the Keysanity, obviously, the way that tournament was structured, not many people could get into the brackets, but anybody who went 4 wins, I think, in that did freaking amazing. Just Keysanity is hard.
Absolutely.
Well,
By
I
the
only
way, we
had
did.
3 wins, but yeah.
By the way, we did have our third place finisher here, the last of the podium finishers, Zoda Stone, finishing in third, 132 even.
I think that's a newer name too. I don't recognize Zoda Stone from previous tournaments. So there's actually been a lot of people who probably learned about this either at the end of the fall tournament when we got, front page, when the tournament got front page, when it got all these other things, then the GDQ. I think there's a lot of people who learned right around that time who are joining now and feel confident enough to join this tournament that's coming up. So they're taking this time to practice. And then we're going to see a lot of new names in this tournament that are going to make it to brackets. Probably going to make it really high in the brackets.
400 plus people already in this spring tournament. And Dr. Bobtastic taking a fall. Jaxus gets the big key, so you'll be the first of the 2 on the right-hand side to go up the climb.
Yep. The one time that Dark Magician route would actually be super fast. Like, man, when the big key is in that skeleton room.
What would run through your mind when you saw the butter sword out of that first chest in Ganon's Tower? Really?
Yeah. Pretty much. Thing I've noticed is with V29 is that I always end up with a butter sword. I don't know if my sample size is just really small or if that's the thing, but I don't think I've done Ganon once without the butter sword.
Nice. And getting through the escape with the Cane of Samaria, obviously you made it look easy. Getting done with the escape, the first of these 4 runners at 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, nice.
And there's the big key pickup there for Saber. He is mirroring and heading up the stairs as Jaxus goes into the gauntlet. Dr. Bobtastic is lost, and that is because he left 1 chest behind in Ice Palace. And it just so happens to have that hammer.
knowing about Bob, he will eventually beat this seed. He does not quit unless obviously real life. But this is unfortunate. I know his pain. It being in the last place you check is a specialty of mine. But for getting a spot like that is unfortunate. I think he's double checking Adinam? Or sorry, he's double checking the ledge, making sure he didn't skip his mind.
Nice 2-minute and 7-second menu time there, Jem.
Thanks. Yeah, pretty nice. Almost a sub 2.
8 minutes of lag time, though. Wait.
Yeah, of the 4 runners here, Jaxus was the first one to find the hammer. Took the gamble on Ice Palace relatively early. Just took forever to get back up to the Palace of Darkness, which had the ether and the lamp that he was seeking. And for you, it was pretty much the vice versa, as you ended up taking a while before you went to Ice Palace for obvious reasons.
Honestly,
I didn't
go
really
ahead.
mind finding hammer in the last place because I don't think I would have gone to port that early otherwise. Because I probably would have obviously finished full clearing Ice Palace and then full cleared Swamp as well. And I think overall that would have cost more time than what I did.
Yeah, and that's what we saw, and that's why Jaxus is still going here at 1 hour 36 minutes. By the way, we do have a 4th place finisher, Korek, finishing in 4th place, 1:35.55.
Yeah, honestly, with Jax's route, if he actually full cleared Swamp and then went to Ice, he went to Ice then Swamp. If he had went to Swamp then Pod, which I'm guessing is what Hippo did, he would have been finished before you for sure. I think his main thing is, according to chat, he doesn't sequence break or doesn't like to, so he never actually got Bombos. He did Go Mode Eastern, and so Go Mode he forgot the big key.
And that's also why he didn't go into Pod until late, was because of the fact that he was missing the lamp.
So the seed was not built for Jaxus to do amazing, but he still did amazing.
He still has a chance to get a PB as far as his best ever randomizer time. Come on, Dr. Bobtastic, you got to go back into Ice.
At this point, yeah, the Ramen. And we have another finish. Sage Lord 38 in 5th place with a 1:38.08.
Which is ahead of where we are as far as the time is concerned, but you guys will definitely understand that we're getting the results ahead of where we are in the streams. As Dr. Bobtastic plays Where to Flute, he flutes to 3. And let's see how the Aga 2 fight is here for Jax. Saber Wolf is at Moldorm 2, so this finish here between these two are going to be close. Dr. Bobtastic is going to be checking the pedestal by the looks of things. Can't be there because you need the hammer to get 2 of the pendants. It's Couch Cash as we knew it from Gem's end credits. So Jax is done with Aga 2. Saber heading to Aga 2. So let's see how Jax's fight will be. Once again, no issues here. Did pull up Half Magic. I didn't really notice to see where Half Magic turned out. Maybe it turned out in left side Swamp. And Saberwolf having a little issue with Aga 2 as far as the patterns are concerned. And we have our 6th place finish Prier finishing in 6th with a time of 1:39.14. And Jax is employing lag strats here, using the Cane of Burna to help keep himself alive.
I always love having half magic for this fight because I'm not very good.
I'm not very good either, which we'll see how that transcribes to success in this tournament.
But yeah, as a big reminder, seriously, folks, if you think right now, I don't know if I'm good enough, maybe I need some more time, and before I say no, enter the tournament. If you have even an inkling of wanting to play, it's gonna fill up probably.
Yeah, we are already down to less than 100 spots left as far as the room is concerned here. You've got to get into this if you're planning on doing it. Jax is getting through Ganon here in the final stage, and we should be getting a GG here for Jax's real soon. There it is. Pig is down. And we'll see if that transcribes to a 7th place finish in just a moment as we wait for the fanfare to end. Saberwolf here in stage 2 of the Ganon fight. Dr. Bobtastic back in ice where he needed to turn out. And Jax is going to the door. We'll finish 7th place, 140-49. Get your GGs in for Jax's X.
And literally right behind him, it looks like 9 seconds, Gus finishing in 8th place. I'm not.
So Saberwolf here getting into stage 3 of this Ganon fight. Pops on over here to the right corner. We'll get a silver arrow on the Ganon before he relights the torch. Both the torches go out. He's going to have to be careful. Ooh, down to a heart and a half. I was more concerned about the fact that he could have fallen because of the being tossed back.
Yeah, the knockback on Ganon fight is...
We're getting a bunch of finishes now. We have 9th place. Voidborn Beast finishing in 9th, 149-39.
There it is.
Saberwolf is finishing up. Will he get 10th place? Wait to see when he pops into the door here. Dr. Bobtastic doing the bomb jump in Ice Palace. And Saberwolf going into the door. And he will get 10th place, 142-12. Get your GGs in for these runners.
And that is some amazing runs. Like, we had 3 runners all in the top 10.
And Dr. Bobtastic's going to be beating himself up once he finds this. There's the hammer.
Yeah, he's just gonna slowly walk down. Go kill the big beast.
Lamp was in Palace of Darkness south, 1 chest south of the Ether.
Hello, Jax's X. Congratulations on 2nd place on the restream.
Oh, good lord.
So you made the interesting gamble early on, earlier than any of these other 3 runners we had on the screen, of going to Ice Palace. What were your thoughts when you found the hammer in the freeze war room?
Well, it's kind of funny because right before I found the hammer, I was like, oh my god, I came into Ice Palace without the hammer. What in the world was I thinking? I was like, oh god, this is going to be bad. I was like, well, let me just check what I can without the hammer. And I was like, huh, neat.
Yeah, we were going to ask
Hammer.
that. Was that a mistake of you going into Ice Palace then?
That was a total mistake. I would have... I don't like going into Ice Palace without the hammer, but I was just like, okay, where can I still go? And I was like, why don't I just go to Ice Palace? And then halfway in, I was like, oh, crap. And
Fantastic, suffering a death, a cold stare.
it just kind of happened. So yeah, it was just, I mean, it was one of those things, I mean, that's random for you. You make a mistake and it ends up being the right play.
So we have 11th place finishing up here.
And 11th place
Here
was...
is, well, finishing 11th place, 143.11. That's Dr. Bob.
Hey,
Fantastic frees the B and hit.
Rick, you cut out a bunch, so I'll go over it real quick.
Please do.
Walther 4 finished in 11th place with a time of 143.11. Slim Kirby finished in 12th place with a 144.40. Drayden Strike 1988 finished in 13th place with a time of 145.01. And Shisami finished in 14th place with a time of 145.19. And to add on to that, we also have Illus, who finished in 15th place. So, just a question, and just a confirmation for chat. Chat mentioned you don't like to sequence break. Is that correct, Jaxus?
I'm really not a huge fan of sequence breaking. I mean, I'll do just a couple of minor sequence breaks. You know, like I do like the fake flipper if I have the moon pearl. Just because if I've got the money, it means I can check off all 4 of those Zora domain locations,
Right.
the 2 waterfall chests and all of that. But as far as major sequence breaking, I hate to sequence break. I really do.
Yeah, and
I mean, when in Palace of Darkness, when I got lucky and found the lamp and ether, I mean, those were my 2 go mode items. I was like, wow, that just worked out. But God, that's kind of been the theme of this run. It's like, well, it just kind of worked out.
yeah, well, I was thinking, I was like, I think what Hippo did, based on what I saw on this, with where you were compared to Gem and where Hippo finished, I think Hippo took the exact same route as you, like to the T, but went to Pod instead of checking all the overworld after Swamp. That's what I think happened. He also might have mirrored after Ether and done Old Dark Room and done Meyer Dark Room.
Yeah. See, I only know a couple of dark rooms, and they're both Eastern Palace. I was thinking about doing Eastern Palace earlier, but then I was like, well, I generally like to route Pod and Eastern together when I get the chance. And as you saw what I did there, I went into Pod first just because there were more chests I could find there, and I was still on the hunt for the lamp. I was thinking, there's a small chance it might be in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I made that choice there going into Pod first, and I was prepared to mirror out and go back to Eastern, and because I was thinking, well, the lamp could potentially be in Eastern Palace as well. So it's one of those. To get it back to your point, I'm not a huge fan of dark rooms. I'm really not. I need to learn them, I know, but I'm really not a big fan of dark rooms. I mean, but it goes back to me not being a huge fan of sequence breaks in general, with a couple of exceptions.
Well, and welcome Saber Wolf, and congratulations.
Yep, welcome Saber Wolf, and I'm gonna have you take over for this because I gotta step aside for a few.
Yeah, absolutely, Rick. Saber Wolf, you're muted in case you didn't know. Okay. Well, we do have Dr. Bob finishing up. He's got a bunch of bottles. He's ready to fight Cold Stare again. Saber Wolf, how did you feel about that seed? Wow, Hippo's route doesn't even make sense to me reading it out loud. Congratulations, Hippo. You pulled off something. Look at that. Wait, we cannot hear you, Saberwolf. So just a reminder, in about 2 hours at 6 p.m. EDT, we're going to have the final Keys Sanity, or not, sorry, why did I say final? It's not final of anything. The next Sanity semifinals match is what I meant to say. I believe that it is the Andy versus Jet match, which is intense.
Boy, that would be a good match.
I don't 100% remember where flippers were. Yeah, that's going to be an awesome match. And following that at 10 p.m. EDT, 4 hours after start of that, we will have whatever the daily randomize. So if you go to vt.alttp.daily at midnight UTC, which is 8 o'clock Eastern time, we get a reset. Sorry, we get a new seed on there. We won't be playing that seed, but we'll be playing the modes that seed generates. Saberwolf, you have to click the microphone underneath the voice channels so that instead of it having a line, it will work. Moving on to swap for Dr. Bob. This is obviously very quick, and he's already checked parts of it. Already checked the first chest here. Sorry, just helping Cyberwolf get his mic figured out. I think I know the issue. Oh, okay, I don't know the issue. 1 second. Sorry, I had an important phone call, and I just had to really quickly take it. And Bob just going through Go Mode Swap and is about to kill this guy. Our favorite pirate sounding boss. Sorry, I'll go through some of the finishes. Trading Strike. Oh, what? All these improved their personal bests without the
I see what happened. Okay, Medivo and GTB have also finished. And unfortunately, it's not telling us the place anymore. It's only just telling us that people beat their PBs. Oddly enough. And Dr. Bob will now be climbing Ganon's tower for this final ascent. Just gotta quickly check the schedule. See if we'll have time to interview him or not. And we will have to actually, Rick had to step away. We probably won't have time to interview Dr. Bob because we're gonna have to go straight into Shantae and the Pirates Curse tournament. Should have started already. Other things that are on speed gaming, we just had Metroid Fusion 80% and Ori start. Ori is actually going to be on for the next few hours across all the channels. Super Metroid multi-category tournament is on later today, as well as more. There's just lots of stuff going on. Looks like there's some Legend of Zelda at 10 p.m. tonight. And Fusel's confirming that we can watch Dr. Bob before Shantae. That's wonderful. Full speed gaming bot. Hey, is that a voice I hear? Is that
Hello. No, it's
Oh, hey, Jim.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm gonna step away now.
That's
so
okay.
we get some lunch. Or
Oh,
dinner.
of course, you could have left any time. But we're
So yeah,
glad that you stayed.
thanks for commentating. Thanks for restreaming Fiesel, and bye.
And thank you to our runners. Please make sure to follow the 4 runners that were featured today. It takes a lot of bravery to come on here and get watched and judged by all chat. It's also useful though for the runners to be able to compare their runs directly with others. Dr. Bob's hearts are green because a new setting in V29 allows you to have blue, yellow, green, or red heart. Bob finding his key and also got the golden sword. I'd also like to remind you to remember the trackers. Feel free to follow them if you'd like. And then there was also Rick and myself, Zelnus. And GG, thank you again, Saberwolf, for running and choosing to be restreamed today. Again, and just another reminder, and I'm only stressing this because it's literally filling up as we speak. If you want to play in the tournament, sign up now. Even if you're thinking about maybe playing in the tournament, sign up. You can drop out later and people will be glad. People will keep an eye out if it's full. It doesn't matter if you average 2 hours or an hour and a half. We want everyone in the tournament that we can. So please do.
Obviously, we also need volunteers for all 512 people, too. So if you just want to help out, we need you too.
Yeah, just to add on something you were saying, Stillness. I mean, out there in chat, if you like running rando, I really advise you get in the tournament, get involved. You really do not have to be good. I mean, I feel like I got lucky this seed. I normally don't run near this fast, and I'm looking forward to the tournament. So I mean, it's going to be fun. You know, there's going to be a lot to do. There's going to be a lot of great matchups. It's going to be a great experience. You know, I highly encourage anybody, regardless of skill level, get in the tournament with us. I mean, this is for fun at the end of the day. We'll have a blast doing it. You'll learn a lot. I'm sure you'll improve a lot. So, you know, I highly encourage everybody to get involved in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. When's the Saturday tournament? I hope never. I don't like Kisan. Am I allowed to say that now? I think it's cool to watch, but I hate playing it. I prefer to know where my where my bid keys are. I hope that we get retro mode tonight. Honestly, preferably. I hope that's what the daily seed ends up being. What do you hope for, Jetsis?
Well, I tell you what, if it's retro mode, I have never, ever even set foot in retro mode. I bet it'd be fun, but oh my, I bet it's different too. I mean, it'd be something that'd be nice to watch. I think I may, who knows? I may get in the challenge anyway. You know, because like I was saying earlier, at the end of the day, it's all for fun. Doesn't matter what time you finish at. You just gotta have a good time doing it. So, if it's retro mode, I'll definitely get involved.
Diesel, come on, that would be amazing.
Okay. Well,
I'm not even hating that idea. I hope that's the next tournament.
Well, I'm sorry, Zonas Fiesel. I got a thing. My goldfish.
No, of course.
I'm gonna be over here.
Fair enough. There's Bob trying to get ferry. Gets the ferry. Got its full magic. Gonna ignore that chest. I guess I didn't quickly go over retro mode in case it does come up. You guys are already prepped. You guys are ahead of the curve. Retro mode means that the small keys can be anywhere in the game instead of just in dungeons. The compasses, big keys, and maps are still in their respective dungeons. Arrows have to be purchased from a store. And whenever you shoot an arrow, it costs 10 rupees. And that random percent tournament was nuts. I remember that. I almost entered that. That would have been a mistake. Dr. Bob having a really good attitude too. That was really good. Congratulations, man. Dr. Bob spinning in circles. Last reminder before I enter again, and don't forget to follow to watch all different kinds of speedruns. Tons of speedruns starting soon. Link to the past, any percent, no major glitches run. He is actually going to be, that tournament starts, first run is at noon on Sunday, so be here for that run. Because it's going to have two amazing commentators and TGH in it. Dr. Bob playing a little bit close. Doesn't have invincibility. He's gonna have to use a shot. Ooh. Have to dodge here. He really should pull out his bottle. Oh my gosh! Run, run! Oh, he pulled out his bottle. Okay, good. Nope. Gonna have to relight those torches real quick. Playing it safe. As he gets hit, and there it is. So we'll have to wrap this up, but congratulations to Dr. Bob. We will not have time to interview him. Stay tuned for Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
And Dr. Bob finishing up with a 205.57. With me from the I say goodbye to all of you. Have a wonderful day. Be back here for 6 p.m. for the TCNA semifinals.